Hello, hello, everybody. Good evening, bonsoir. Like we always do, it depends where you watching us from. I'm so glad today again to be back tonight with my guest. Welcome, everybody, for Empowering You TV. Hello from YouTube, Facebook, and all over the social media. I'm very glad we are back today again with one of my special guests. Again, guys, I always tell you that whenever we're here, we're bringing you guests, wonderful guests who are going to give you very good nuggets and really just pouring to you. So welcome, welcome, everybody. Don't just be here by yourself, but invite your friends and your family so they can be able to join us for a very engaging conversation tonight. Welcome again, Coach Sneha. How are you?
I am doing well. How are you?
I am doing good. I am so excited. I guess the people can be able to tell already because this is the first time that I found a very brilliant coach who also have a very similar name as my conversation. So to me, I was like, wow, I definitely want to connect and be able to talk. And I'm very glad that our path really crossed. Absolutely. So,
Definitely.
guys, I just wanted to really just tell you a little story that's my name on Instagram and her name on the company. It's very, very similar. We are all about empowering people, empowering everybody, our community. So that's why since I started really, getting to know her, my guest and Coach Snare, it was really something that I really felt like she really touched the soul of people and really empowered them in a very deeper level. So that's why I did not hesitate to reach out to her and to really invite her to come to our show. Absolutely. So we have 5 words for you that we're going to ask you, and you just tell us what you think. Okay. So our first word for you is community.
Support,
Okay. Our second word is empowerment.
encouragement,
Can you explore more on that?
to encourage people to become their best self,
Sacrifice.
to give up something,
Okay. Leadership.
to help others rise up,
Ooh, I like that. To help others rise up. That's a good one. And also marketing.
to spread your brand,
Okay. And lastly, especially, I think this was gonna really speak really strongly for you because it does speak strongly for me. It's resilience.
never giving up.
Okay. Thank you so much for answering all those 5 words for us. Now, can you tell us a little bit about you, about your journey, especially because I know for me, just every single like the reason why I really think that your message and your style, the way you really empower people, it's very particular, and I love that because you're doing in a very authentic way, and you be able, your message, it's very you, like you just being you, and I love that about you. So can you just tell us a little bit about you, about your business, so people can be able to know you.
Sure. So I am an empowerment coach for females, and I say females because it's women of all ages. And
Yes.
it's really my desire to make sure that every woman feels confident enough to make the changes necessary so that they can live the life that they are meant to live, no matter
Mm-hmm.
who they disappoint. And that means whether it's friends, family, well meaning people in your circle, it's really important to be very clear about your message and your path and what your purpose is. And once you identify that, there shouldn't be anyone else in your way. And if there is, then you need to take the steps to be brave enough to separate yourself from them and to continue pursuing your path and your journey, no matter what the cost, because at the end of the day, you are living your life for yourself. And that's something that I teach women that I have done myself. And
Mm-hmm.
It is an incredible, incredible thing to do. It is by no means easy, and it was not easy for me, but I am so much happier now because I get to decide how I spend my day. I get to decide who I spend it with, and I am more confident
Yes.
with saying no to anything and anyone that does not align with my vision for myself or my life. And that is something that I have gotten much better at and I've gotten more confident with. And it's something that I was
Mhm.
not in years prior. And now I do it unapologetically. I say no and I say yes to only things that make me fully happy and satisfy my needs. I do not bend over backwards for anyone. And it is the most freeing experience out there. And it is by no means easy, especially as a woman, but
Mhm.
it is my desire to help other women that are interested to make similar choices in their own lives so that they too can have a piece of this happy, which is the choice to decide how your life will go.
I think you really point, that's a very good point that you mentioned, that make sure that you definitely doing that for you and for you only, because again, you're not going to do that for people. And that's also, it's a process, because that's really something that I think for few conversations that we just had so far. And that was something that we were both really, talking about how we can be able to design the life that we want, and I really like how your path kind of really switched now. You're a teacher, and so to me, that was really something that you empower a lot of lives every single day. So to me, kudos to you. But definitely, it's amazing place. Like you have a very unique position to be able to empower women, but especially also our younger future leaders. So to me, it's like you are definitely an amazing place where you empower lives every single day. And I like that what you said about it wasn't easy, because in the beginning sometimes we try kind of like to serve everybody, kind of like make sure that everybody kind of hears, but you have to really understand that that's not how I really want to be able to be making sure decision and making those decisions based on what I really want and what really makes me happy. That's a very good point that you mentioned. So can you Coach Sena, can you tell us more about your mindset and how that started? Did you started it was in a process, you had to go through something that you had to really open your eyes to it, so to really be able to come on that self-awareness, or how was the process?
I actually went through a very traumatic experience in my career in the classroom um,
Oh.
2 years ago, just before COVID hit. And I felt like I had given all that I had, and I felt like I was no longer receiving the reception that I needed in order to thrive. And this was
Mhm.
after making a number of choices to please others, whether it was my colleagues, my family, friends, and I just was completely burnt out. I was sick. I was not feeling well, just socially, emotionally, on every level. My health was at its worst. And I just was not feeling passionate about my work. And
Mhm.
I, one of my best friends, she was one of my colleagues at the, you know, at my job, and she helped me make the decision and stand up for myself and say, you don't have to put up with this anymore. You can make the decision to leave. And if you do, I will support you.
Mhm.
And she did. And together we cleaned up my space. Um, I reached out to my supervisor and I said
Yes.
it's time for me to go. I did not get into details. I did not make it ugly. I was very elegant about it,
Yes. Mhm.
but I closed things out and I said goodbye. And then I went home and I sat down with my husband and we discussed our next steps. And that was about 1 month before the world completely shut down. And I had gotten a position at a local high school slash middle school, and I was going to work with them throughout the end of the year. But then when COVID hit, everything there shut down as well. So
Mhm.
my employment was at a standstill. So then again, I came home and we discussed our next steps. And because the workforce was so unsure, we
Mhm.
made the decision to say goodbye to our home. And for a short time, we moved in with my in-laws, which was the opportunity of a lifetime, because though it was
Mm-hmm.
not always easy, because we had been on our own for a number of years, a decade even,
Yeah.
it was
Mm-hmm.
something that we needed to do because it gave us the
Yeah.
chance to regroup. It gave us the chance to reassess our life, our relationship, and just how we wanted to move forward. And we became much stronger for it. And I could not
Mm-hmm.
be more grateful to my in laws for allowing us to have that space, because I was able to cut ties with everything and everyone that was toxic and say goodbye to social media and just everything that was pulling me back and
Mm-hmm.
making me feel like I wasn't good enough. So I cut ties with everyone. I stopped talking to people that I was trying to please, and just when I say everyone, I mean everyone.
Yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
then that spring, I, early summer, I decided to reach out to, my girlfriend, the one that had helped me through the process. And
Right.
then it was really her and myself. And then I had an incredible woman who said that you have a story to tell. So let's write a book together. And
Yes.
from there, it just took off because I became very intentional from that moment forward with who I was
Mm-hmm.
going to share my time with, who I was going
Right.
to share my ideas with, and how I was going to go forward. And my health took an incredible turn for the better. I
Yes.
began sleeping better. I felt better about myself. My confidence went up. And that's how I got through the first year of COVID. And then
Mm-hmm.
my husband and I, we made the decision to move into our own home again. And once we did that, we were able to set up, and now we're here and happier than ever. And now I am in a regional supervisor position where I get to coach and mentor upcoming educators and
Yes.
take them into a space where I can match them with local community schools so that they can
Mm-hmm.
be the ones with our students and with our youth and colleagues in the education system. So though
Wow.
I am no longer in the classroom, I still have a part in it, and that
Yes.
makes me happier than ever. And truly, it's an honor. And of course, I still have my students, which I work with one on one
Mm-hmm.
throughout the week. And it is a pleasure to see them learn and grow through reading, writing, mathematics, and just coaching them through the basics of education, because education should be a fun experience. It should be a learning
Absolutely.
experience. It
Mm-hmm.
should be a a hard experience, but really it has to be all of the above. And I really feel like I can make that impact on a one-on-one setting because I get to be the supplemental piece in their educational experience.
Mm-hmm.
And that is
Yes.
something that I do not and did not get to do when I was in the classroom, because I do personally feel, and as do my colleagues, that the educational system in this country is quite broken and there are so many different moving pieces, but
Mm-hmm.
really did not feel like I was making an impact anymore. But I
Right.
knew how much education meant to me and my family, and for my heritage, as for any immigrant family. So I said, I have to stay in education. I have to continue my work, but there has
Right.
to be another way. And that's where I was able to step into my regional supervisor position. That's where I was able to work with an incredible team of women who I am so blessed to work with every single day.
Mm.
And my girlfriend, who I just saw today, and really I just could not be happier. I am living the life that I was meant to live, and all it took was saying no to everything that I have been saying yes for and towards for a number of months and years,
Wow.
my entire
Mm-hmm.
life. And
Mm-hmm.
because I said no that
Yes.
one time, I was able to say yes and open my heart to what was meant to come my way. And
Mm-hmm.
now I am so hopeful. I am looking forward to building perhaps um, a center for advising and peer support one day. I was discussing this with my team earlier this week, and there's just so many things in the process, and I
Mm-hmm.
could not could not be happier. I have my book coming very,
Yeah.
very soon. So I'm
Yes.
very excited to get that out and in the hands of women and men as well who
Right.
want to see positive female role models for their daughters, because little girls do not see that representation out there. They do
No,
not
they do not.
recognize that, and unfortunately, it is a man's world. But I
Right. Right.
I believe that we can work with men. I believe that
Yes.
they are
Mm-hmm.
our allies. My husband is my
Yes.
best friend, and he is someone that I cherish dearly. And
Mm-hmm.
I know that a good woman can inspire change in just about anyone. And it's really up to us to pave the way so that our girls, when they become our age, they don't feel us boxed into the social mores of what they should or shouldn't do. They should
Right.
feel like they can do whatever it is that they desire, as long as my thing that I used to tell my students is that as long as you can support yourself and as long as it's something that makes you happy, go for it. Do not let anyone tell you no.
Absolutely.
But make sure that you
Wow.
plan and make sure that you get some form of education, because you need some
Yes.
sort of license to say what you need to
Mm-hmm.
say and then run.
Right.
So
See,
absolutely.
I'm glad. See, I'm glad you mentioned that. And really, one thing I really retain is like what you said about being intentional, really making sure that you are intentional and really setting up your goals for you. So I'm glad that because that really will put you in a place where you are very, very really comfortable and go through the process because you know this is what I have to go through and you accept that you have to accept. And I'm glad that you mentioned it because you have a very similar story. Maybe I haven't really shared with the viewers. The way I really also took a decision one day when I used to live in another state, I had to take a decision because I really had to make sure that I am representing myself, and also I really want to be able to advocate for those who does, the voiceless. That was really my thing. That I was also working in a school system where they were telling me, "Oh, Jeanine, you're doing too much advocacy. You do." I was like, the minute they start telling me that, that was really to me was a way to say, I don't. I think this is the place where I really have to reevaluate, why I'm still here and how I'm gonna continue to impact and empower my community. So that was really very important to me. And that's really what you're sharing. So I had to take a decision. I had to write a letter, to the board members so they can be able to know why I'm resigning. That was another thing too. It was not easy because again, those opportunities like they make you like different people don't understand what you're doing so they can easily say to me you're not scared, like how are you going to support yourself, like all those people, all those voices. I really had to take them and say, well, this is I know a call to empower people and making sure my voice being heard. But when I'm seeing that my own, the leadership that was under, they were telling me, Jenny, you're doing too much advocacy. What does that mean? Like too much advocacy. This is the people they need this. So
Mhm.
especially that was really like an eye open to me, and I'm glad that you really mentioned because that's really you have a very similar journey. How you really had to come to the point where say I need to take a decision, and I'm glad that you have a support system, which is your husband and people that really supported you. That's very important. And even though you don't have that, Coach Sneha and myself, we're here to support you. We're here to listen to your story and really hold you accountable whenever you want us to talk to us. So I really admire everybody who comes here. Thank you guys for joining us on Facebook and YouTube. We are really talking about empowerment because Coach Sanaya, she's really about empowering people and making sure that we're here to support you. So I'm glad that you share with us your story because that's what it's all about. And now she has a book, guys. Next time we're gonna invite her, so she's gonna bring her book and really talk to us about that and making sure that it's available to all of you guys because she's amazing. Absolutely. So, Coach Sinai, can you also tell us about who inspired you on your journey? Because I know, like you talked about, your girlfriend and your husband, but who else do you think that's also doing a similar work that they also inspiring you on your journey?
You know, that's a really great question. But one thing about why it was so difficult for me to share my story is because there wasn't anyone really like me. Because
Mhm.
when you look at social media and you look at all these things, there's lots of women out there, there's lots of coaches out there. But And they're all inspiring. There's some incredible,
Yes.
incredible people, but I do not know them personally.
Mm-hmm.
In my own life, in my own world, um, many people were very skeptical about the work that I wanted to do, about the change that I wanted to make. So they didn't really
Mm-hmm.
understand. And even my own family, they are so supportive now, but who can support something that they're just not so sure about, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
my family did not understand, and
Mm-hmm.
now they are my greatest supporters, and I am so, so lucky, and I love them all. But
Mm-hmm.
initially, I had to really stay to my path because they were not sure. They did not understand, not necessarily following the typical 9 to 5. They did not really
Mm-hmm.
understand, um, if I was really going to write a book or if it was just an idea that I had. Just all the things that I've done. You mentioned, because I mentioned my girlfriend and my husband, it's really because they were the only ones that never blinked an eye and said, what you're doing is not crazy. They just said, go
Mm-hmm.
for it, do it, and
Yeah.
I will support
Yeah.
you. And I cannot wait to, get a
Right.
copy of my own or to see you on your journey. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
that's really the biggest thing. So when it comes to influences, I think, there's so many representatives in the world, right? When you look at the women in Congress, when you look at the women in the Senate now, when you look at all the women that are coming forward to empower and rise up and share their stories, right? Today,
Mm-hmm.
Simone Biles and her fellow gymnasts, they shared their
Yeah.
own painful stories with Congress, and they said, this needs to change, and thank you so much
Mm-hmm.
for supporting us. That
Right.
was powerful and impactful and will change the lives of women everywhere um, when it comes to predators. And those are just examples of people that, again, I do not know personally, but I
Mm-hmm.
am so in awe of the choices that they're making and the risks that they're taking. And really, it takes all of us. It's
Yes.
not just one person that's going to inspire me. It's
Mm-hmm.
a collective of women that we see on social media, that we see in the news, that we see,
Right.
whatever form of media you're using to consume something, right? There's so many different forms. It's
Mm-hmm.
really about knowing and being able to identify the positive women, on TV. I personally, just in life, I watch The View a lot. I watch,
Yes.
watch the
Mm-hmm.
news. I'm always looking for powerful women
Right.
who represent, a life or a lifestyle that I feel that I'm leading as well, because it's really important to look up to other women that have done things before you so that
Mm-hmm.
you can
Absolutely.
understand what's
Yes.
doable for you. And that's what
Mm-hmm.
representation is all about. And I feel that
Yes.
in the past 2 years, I have seen so many women come up and rise up to the challenge and say, hey, my voice matters too, whether it's politically, whether, it's fellow educators, just or even women in my own family. I
Mm-hmm.
feel like in my own life, my husband's grandmother and my own grandmother, they worked really hard to make sure that the next generation could have it a little bit easier. My
Absolutely.
grandmother was very impactful towards me, and I was very, very close to her. And I was the oldest granddaughter, and for her, she was she got married at the age of 12. And I remember at the age of 12, I asked her, why would you do that?
Mm-hmm.
And she told me that's the way that life was at that time, but that's not the choice that you have to make. You
Right.
make a different choice. That's
Mm-hmm.
what's important. You get to set your own path. And she always told me, get an education.
Right.
Do
Mm-hmm.
what you need to do so that you can use your voice to do great things. And
Yeah.
she got to know my husband, and her first thing was, does he allow you to be yourself? Does he allow you to follow your own dreams? If that's the case, then you have my blessing. And that meant the world to me. And then of course
Absolutely.
she passed away, unfortunately, my senior year of college, and
Mm.
that was incredibly hard. But when I lost her, his grandmother, my husband's grandmother, she reached out to me and said, if you ever need anything, I'm here. And then
Yes.
I used to pour into her. And I
Mm-hmm.
learned so much from her stories, her struggles, her successes. And that is also a big part of why I am who I am, the woman that I am today, because I remember that she actually pushed me to get the CBEST, which is a certification in California, to become
Right.
a teacher. And I was terrified that I was going to fail. And I said, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. And then when um, when her health started to decline, towards
Mm-hmm.
the end, I took the first test and I proudly went back to her. I said, okay, I did it. I did. I passed. And then it got a
Yeah.
good score. And then the next time I set it up, she was actually in the hospital at that time. And then I got the last score, and she just knew. She would always push myself and my
Mm-hmm.
husband in ways that we maybe did not want to be pushed, but it was good.
Yeah.
And she would plant those seeds. And I was always really grateful that she would extend the love that she had for him to me as well. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm forever going to be grateful. So yeah, those are just a couple of women. And then of course my mom, very, very fiercely stubborn and self-righteous woman. My mother-in-law as well. Oh my gosh, a force to be reckoned with. Both of them just incredible women that I get to see on the daily, just standing up for what they believe in and never backing down. And
Wow.
that's really,
That's
really
very
important,
good.
for
Mm-hmm.
girls everywhere to experience. And
Yes.
myself, it's incredible. I've learned so much from the both of them. From
Mm-hmm.
my mother.
So
Yeah,
from that place, can you be able to, many of them, many people are listening right now, and
sure.
somebody it's really on that age, on that place where he or she's really deciding, am I gonna go after my vision? Am I gonna go after really what I want? Or I'm gonna stay here because it's comfortable.
Mhm.
Also, we are in COVID. I cannot, they just making an excuse because
Right.
they know they're tired. They really don't want to be there where they are, but to just, I mean, really speak to that fear so they can be able to really be encouraged right now.
Absolutely. Well, if I have anything to say to the audience, it would be that you need to get used to being uncomfortable. You need to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. And I say that not to be tough. I say that not to be hurtful, but because it's
Yes.
really an important feeling. Because the more that you become aligned with your own goal and your own vision, your own purpose,
Mm-hmm.
those around you that have supported you until this point, you might find that very few of them are comfortable with the changes that you're making, because you are
Mm-hmm.
not as easy to manipulate. You are not
Yes.
as uh, pleasable, right? You don't have a desire to make them happy. You're living for yourself now. And
Yeah.
that's hard for the people who are in your inner circle to adjust to. And some may come around and some may not. And you have to just accept that, because at the end of the day, you are living your life for yourself. So if there is a
Mm-hmm.
goal or a passion or a dream that you have thought about in the back of your mind and never done it and said, I'll do it next year, I'll do it the year after, you need to just do it now. Because I hate to tell you this, unfortunately, even I too am hoping for a day when COVID is more manageable and maybe when it's gone.
Yes.
But I do not think that day is going to come, especially not very.
Mm-hmm.
And I think at this point, you need to stop planning and you need to start executing. I
Absolutely.
myself made that choice, and I'm not going to lie, it was very hard. But when I made the decision to co-author a book with an amazing group of women, that really spearheaded my journey, because I realized that people wanted to hear what I had to say. And
Mm-hmm.
from there, I began to say yes to things that would fit my goals, that would fit my desires. And granted, now I'm more picky, absolutely. But really,
Yes.
you have to start somewhere. And you
Mm-hmm.
have to start with saying yes to yourself and no to the
That's
rest of the
right.
world. That is the bottom line. You need to cut out that white noise. It's something that I address in my story in the book, is to ignore those supposed well wishers and to learn
Yes.
to push them away. And if that
Mm-hmm.
means silencing them in a world of technology, all it takes is one press of a button: block, ignore, whatever
Yeah.
it is. And you have to take that into your mental space. You need to learn to
Right.
be comfortable
Yes.
doing that, because
That's right.
sometimes you don't need their energy in your life. You don't need to have a long day of work and have someone come and complain to you or tell you you should have done
Mm-hmm.
that, or you should really live life this way. That's
Right.
not a way to be. And that's just such an unnecessary stressor. So
Yeah.
my advice to you is, again, I'm going to repeat myself: say no to the world and say yes to yourself, because you deserve to design your day as
Yes.
you see fit. So whatever it is that you're sitting on, stop sitting on it Even if you have a full-time job, you can pursue your passion on the side. If
Mm-hmm.
your job does not give you everything, which is fine,
Yes.
no job is perfect. I want you to understand this. I'm not asking you to quit your job, but I'm asking you to work for yourself as well on the side. If that means doing comedy on the weekends, if that means going to speaking events and booking shows, whatever that means to you, go ahead and do it on the side. Do not wait for
Mm-hmm.
to roll out the red carpet, because they are not going to. You need to
That's
learn to
right.
lay that red carpet out for yourself and just see what happens. I
Mm-hmm.
myself now walk into a room with such confidence. I love dressing up. I go out, even if it's on Zoom. I work 98%
That's right.
from home.
Yes.
I have fun. I do it
Yes.
for nobody but myself. I won't
Yeah.
lie. Attention is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
But the attention that I give myself and the way that I feel when I look in the mirror is incredible. Things that I've started doing for myself, I've pursued my business. I'm in a job that
Yes.
I love. I
Mm-hmm.
I cook almost every single day for my family. I go swimming every day for my mental health and my physical being. There's so many things
Wonderful.
I do for myself, but if I had checked in with the rest of the world before I did it, I don't know if I would have done it. So it's
Mm-hmm.
really important for you to stop sharing with the rest of the world, stop questioning your gift. And again, I'm going to say it for the third time, say no to the rest of the world and say yes to yourself.
Oh my goodness. Yes. That's it. Guys, those are very good nuggets. Say yes to yourself. You have heard today, thank you guys for really being here with us. I hope you were taking notes because this is really, really the type of conversation really fuel me because I definitely think that we have to really be intentional every single day. You really have to really close your ears, especially when you know that this is what I want to do. No matter what, just execute, guys. It's not time to really rethinking and overthinking this. No, this is the time you know what you want to do and just go for it. So I'm really inviting you guys to really stick around because Coach Sneha, she's gonna come back again, because we're preparing some things together. Like you always know, guys, that I always make sure that those people I'm bringing in so they can be able to walk you through and making sure that you are ready, you are equipped to tell your story. Just like today, guys, she has her book, and I can't wait to read that book because I know there's so many stories that I will be able to also be empowered by that just by really reading that story because that's what she went through, that the process, and we want you to start your process too. So thank you again. I know this is a very short time that she's just, coming to really give us those small nuggets, but she's going to come back again. And we're going to help you together, guys. Me and Coach and I, we're going to help you to tell your story in a very authentic way. Could be you want to start something, you just want to be comfortable. Another thing that I didn't share with you guys, I love her videos on Instagram. Just guys, visit her Instagram. She's gonna give us all her social links so you guys can be able to follow her. Just like you said, she does everything for her. She's been authentic. She's showing up every day for the community. That's what we do. So that's why I'm so always inspired, going to her script. And she even told me that, like, she just trained me on few things on Instagram. She's amazing. So she's a very good teacher and she's here. We support one another. So it's really a blessing to me, Coach, and I absolutely, I'm very, very excited. And we're going to be having some workshop really coming up soon. So just stay tuned. But any last word from our viewers, and also please give them your social links so they can be able to follow you.
Absolutely. So for my Instagram, go ahead and follow me at empoweryou_agency. Again, that's
Mm-hmm.
at empoweryou_agency. You can also look me up under my name, Sneha Ghandi White. There's only one of me
Mm-hmm.
there. And you'll see my videos, my pictures, just little tidbits into my life. And everything is really from me to you. So it's
Yes.
really just a way for me to share my story and my little bit of my daily life, my challenges, my successes with all of you, because I want you to know that what I'm going through, I'm sure that I'm not the only one. And it's really that I am one of the crazy ones that's willing to put myself out there and make myself vulnerable enough for the rest of you so that you can see that you're not alone. So
Yes.
go ahead and follow
Absolutely.
me and stay in touch. As for my books, I will have a very limited copy, hardcover. If you would like them, you'll need to reach out before they are
Yes.
all gone. Otherwise,
Mm-hmm.
you'll be able to purchase it via Kindle for
Yes.
free.
Absolutely. So, guys, and we're gonna ask Coach Sneha to just put in a comment, her website and her Instagram, so people can be able to follow her as well. Again, thank you so much, Coach Sneha. It was amazing. It's only the first time, but not the last time. Absolutely. So, guys, stay tuned and make sure that you follow her because, again, we are here to empower one another. And also, I know, like I said, very soon in October, we're gonna be doing something together. We're going to collaborate in one of the powerful workshops that we're going to bring into you. So stay tuned for that because we're going to be announcing in a couple weeks. So make sure that you really stay tuned and you register for that because that's one of the things that I really want us to do so we can be able to make sure we give you the tools that you need to be able to tell your own story and to live authentically, just like what we're doing, every day. So we're showing up every day for you guys and we like you guys also to start your own journey. So thank you guys from everywhere you're watching us, even though you replay. And make sure if you have questions for Coach Sneha or myself, just put in a comment and we can always come back and also be able to answer you. Okay?
Absolutely.
Thank you guys.
Just so you all know, I can see the chat. Hello to everyone. Hi, Tanya.
Yes. Oh
Hi,
yes.
Martin, so much. I'm not, unfortunately, signed up with StreamYard, so I'm not able to put my information in there. But if you go ahead and look
Oh,
on Instagram, just
okay, let me
full
put
name
that.
and it'll come out.
Okay, let me put that. Empower You Agency.
Yes, _agency. So feel free to look me up. I am very much here and very much willing to connect. So
Yes,
go ahead.
absolutely, guys. She's the right deal for us. Definitely, she makes sure that we show up every single day.
Yes, you show up for yourself and no one else, and you never know who's watching.
Yes, you never know who is watching. Okay, guys. So thank you so much again, and we're gonna see you guys soon. In a couple of weeks, we're gonna be having a webinar. So we're gonna announce and send and really share the flyer. So she's gonna be definitely coming back, and you can be able to have an opportunity again to ask her question and really work with her very closely. So thank you guys, and it was really wonderful to be here. And thank you again, Christina. We really appreciate you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Coach Jeanine. Thank you for having me tonight.
Thank you. Have a good one. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys. Thank you.